Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to install a Picatinny rail on the Ruger 1022. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. So today we're going to install this Ruger 1022 Picatinny rail. I've got this in my Amazon store along with a few others. There's quite a few different selections of this. I chose this one because it has a real deep groove down the center, which allows you to use your iron sights. And I'm going to do it on this little 1022 build I'm working on. I will do a video later about the build and things like that. I may show some other things because I've got some sights coming in for it and probably a red dot and stuff. But I've seen some videos floating around about the 1022 installing these type rails. The problem was they always never showed taking the screws out, and that may be difficult for somebody, and I wanted to kind of show it step by step. So if you're familiar with this rifle, if you look at my screws here, they're pretty small. And it looks like to me that they put the screws in and then painted the receiver, because it's got some paint definitely involved in around the screws. So y'all are going to kind of play along with me and see how it goes getting these out. One thing I always recommend, I talked about this in other videos, is make sure you got a good set of precision screwdrivers. Unfortunately, the one I need the most, the tip has actually been damaged on this one, so I'm hoping it won't give me a hard time here. But let's see. The main thing when you're doing these is make sure you're putting enough downward pressure so it does not strip out the head. So that one broke pretty easy, even though it had paint. And matter of fact, paint actually chipped out around the edge of it. So I don't know why Ruger does that, but you can see the chipping right there probably. So there's that one. This one actually is coming out easy too. So far so good. Should be a pretty quick, easy install here. So get that one off. So same thing, a lot of downward pressure, turn. This one came out okay. And I'll get a little bag and save these screws. I always save everything I take off a firearm, and normally I'll put it in the original box. So if I ever sell it or look, for those parts and pieces, instead of getting stuck in a parts drawer somewhere, I usually go back and put them in the original box, if I have the original box especially. If not, make sure you label your bags, what you're pulling out and all that, so you don't just go, what is that, when you're looking for it later. So all of them came out easy, so that was great. So I didn't have to worry about that. Let's take this out, and I'll show you this groove here and what I'm talking about. So this comes with everything you need, including new screws and that appropriate Allen wrench that you'll need. Get it out of this. They always tape this packaging and stuff up. Makes it difficult. So I'm going to set these other screws over here to the side. Get these out. Just careful when you open these. Don't lose them. Pretty small. Alright. Packaging out of the way. Alright guys, so there's only one way to do this, and you can't mess it up. These screws up here in the front are closer together than the ones in the back. So just a test fit. Yep, everything lines up. Should be good. Blue Loctite. Also, make sure you're using that. You do not need a lot of blue Loctite. If you wanted to, you could go in here with a little alcohol Q-tip and clean these out. I don't think there's any oil in these at all based on the way the painting job was done. So I'm going to be fine. If I have to go back and tighten it later, I will. Normally the way I do this, just a little dab. Go ahead and stick it on your wrench like that. And normally I'll come up here and get the first one started. So when you're doing this, make sure you're turning backwards anti-clockwise before you turn it clockwise, so it drops down into the correct grooves and you're not cross threading. If you feel any resistance, I would back out and try it again until you make sure it is not showing any type of hard resistance. No need to tighten it down a whole lot. So we're going to repeat that again, same thing. Just going to put it on there, make it easier to deal with. Just a little dab, you don't need a lot of this. And then I'll put the one in the back here. Again, going backwards just a couple turns to make sure it's dropping down into the correct groove there. All right. Pretty simple process, guys. Nothing too complicated. Ooh, way too much. So I'm going to take some of that off. Don't need near that much. So, and you can actually hear it when you're turning it backwards. Sometimes you can actually hear it kind of click in to the threads. Because this is not some, precision rifle build or anything, I'm not going to worry about true torque specs or anything. I'm just going to finger tighten it. Do not over tighten. You can strip things out, stuff like that. Don't do that. So be careful with that. All right, so we'll go ahead and tighten this down here. Kind of do them a little at a time because the way this thing's going to sink down, sometimes the ones you tightened up in front of it might make this one a little looser as it goes and sets itself in. So there you go, guys. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I'm going to we're going to get a different camera angle, and I'm going to try showing you this notch here that's in this. And I will get back to you just in a second. Let me rearrange my camera. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we got the installing completed, and now I'm going to show you a little more about this sight and kind of this groove and what I'm talking about, being able to use your iron sights. So I'm going to put the firearm up here when my son's helping me. Say hello, son.
Hi guys.
So what you're looking at is this groove right here where you can see down. Now keep in mind, this is not a good representation, and the reason is because the blade on my sight, my rear sight, is broke off. I've got some more ordered for it, but this one's broke off, so you can't really get a good idea. But you can definitely see down this across your iron sights. That way, if you run a scope or a red dot, if you simply take it off, then you can go back to using iron sights as a backup, or if you're wanting to train somebody on iron sights, again, just remove your scope or your red dot and then go back to something traditional like this, and then be able to do that. Can you get it in camera? Can you see okay? All right. So, but anyway, guys, there's quite a few variations of these optic mounts because there's so many. This gun's been around so long, and there's so many aftermarket parts. I've put some in my Amazon store. This one is the NC Star one. I think it comes in at that $10 or $12 price point. It's not real expensive. There's others out there in that similar price point. I've also put those in there. There's one by Midwest Industries. I really like their products. They make excellent products, USA made, that kind of thing. This one is made in China, which is pretty typical for a lot of the NC Star stuff. They do have some of their Pro line, I think, that is made in the USA, but this one is one of their made in China. This is not a heavy use rifle, so I'm not too concerned about a whole lot with that. When it comes to durability, it's just going to hold a red dot or a simple little scope I'm going to put on here. But anyway, guys, in my Amazon store, check it out. It won't cost you any extra to purchase that. Something you want to do. But if you've got any experience with installing one of these and something you will like better or something like that, one you recommend, be sure to share that with us. That's always greatly appreciated. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.